Welcome to my channel. Thank you everyone for stopping by and listening. Massive trigger warning for this video. I will be talking about Zymere Perkins and his tragedy that ended his life. Like I said, massive trigger warning. There will be some pictures shown of the household he lived in and stuff, and of his mother carrying him to the hospital. The story itself is heartbreaking, as every story that we hear when a child is being hurt. So my name is Zymere Perkins and I matter. This is my tragedy, is what this video is going to be about. And here is the disclaimer. And this is Zymere Perkins, a sweet, adorable 6-year-old nicknamed ZP, who was deprived of food, sleep, put into icy showers, and relentlessly beaten with sticks and belts at the hands of his mother and her boyfriend. On September 26 of 2016, Zymere died in agony in his filthy, roach-infested apartment. Rashim Smith, which is the mom's boyfriend, beat Zymere like a piñata with a broom handle, then dumped him under a cold shower because a malnourished Zymere defecated in the living room. Geraldine Perkins, which is his momster, sat back passively looking at this take place instead of helping her son. Rashim Smith then took the shower curtain rod and bludgeoned Zymere's head with it, causing cuts on his head. And then he took a very wet, cold, and unconscious little boy and badly beaten little boy and hung him on the hook of the door in the bathroom, like where you would put your bathrobes or towels to dry and hang. He then took Zymere down from the hook and threw him into a wall. And this is where Zymere took his last breath, was in the bathroom. And you will see that bathroom that he was in during this video. Right here is a picture of Zymere's mother, or like I said, momster, carrying him into the emergency room, only after she did her hair and makeup, by the way. And then the SOB smiling down there in this picture, that is the boyfriend of the mom. Okay, so ADA, which is Assistant District Attorney, Carrie Connell, added that this child had more rib fractures than ribs. As horrific revelations of Zymere's torturous life emerged in the courts during the trial, details of how the Administration for Children's Services in New York City failed him and other children have now become back into focus. And what I mean by that is that there were other children who were in DCFS care who they went and re-examined to see what had happened there. This child, Zymere's brutal slaying, became a catalyst for a much-needed overhaul of the ACS system after the city itself and the State Office of Family and Children's Services filed scathing reports on December 13th of 2016. ACS launched 5 probes into allegations of abuse of Zymere while he was alive and founded 3 of the 5, but never removed him from his unsafe home. June 21st, 2010. The day Zymere was born in the hospital had reported that Perkins tested positive for marijuana, but Zymere tested negative, and then the case was closed. June 30th of 2015, Smith, which is the boyfriend, caught Zymere at a friend's apartment drawing on a wall with a crayon and beat him with a belt. Zymere's screams were so loud that they were heard on the sidewalk. Zymere told ACS that Smith put him naked in a cold shower and beat him with the belt. ACS took no action other than offering Perkins, which is the mom, parental services, which she refused. August 28th of 2015, Perkins and Smith went to dinner, leaving Zymere to wander alone on the streets, and a neighbor found him and called the police. 3 days later, Smith and Perkins got into a physical fight with that Good Samaritan neighbor in front of Zymere. Perkins admitted Smith punished Zymere with cold showers, and Zymere said something to, child welfare services about Smith beating him with the belt. Despite a caseworker noticing troubling injuries on Zymere, including missing teeth, ACS found, and I quote, inadequate guardianship, but did nothing. February 2nd, 2016, Zymere's school, PS192, reported suspicious injuries over 4 months, including his eye and a knocked out tooth. Perkins blamed each injury away on a fall. ACS failed to investigate. Quote, Mr. Smith's history combined with number of physical abuse allegations involving Zymere should have led caseworkers to probe more deeply about potential DV and corporal punishment in the household. And that's what the city report had said. April 18th of 2016. School staff again reported suspicious bruises and scratches on both of Zymere's legs. ACS and the New York Police Department's instant response team investigated. While being interviewed at the Manhattan Child Advocacy Center, only faint redness was observed on his legs. A safety assessment stated the child was not in immediate danger of harm. On October 31st of 2016, ACS Commissioner Gladys Kurian cried at a city council meeting or hearing where she took blame for the agency failing Zymere. Just 1 month later, a 3-year-old by the name of Jaden Jordan was fatally beaten by his mom's boyfriend in Brooklyn. Jaden was killed 3 days after ACS had the wrong address and went to the apartment next door. This also points to the failures of the system and why it needed to be reformed. Gladys Kurian submitted her resignation a day before the state reported ACS in the homicide of 3 children. Zymere Perkins, who we are talking about here, Jaden Jordan, who I just mentioned, and a 5-year-old boy by the name of Michael Guzman of Queens, who died of an overdose of his epilepsy medicine given to him by his momster. ACS investigated the Guzman family 13 times from October 2008 to January 2016, but never removed Michael or his siblings. In 2017 of February, David Hensel replaced Gladys Guzman and was brought in order to clean house, basically, clean up the agency and fix it. Because under Kurian's 4-year reign, 58 children with ACS files died. 58 children. 58 underneath her watch in 4 years. Hansel said slashing of work caseloads was a priority, so that way there would be more attention on the cases and the caseworkers wouldn't be so spread out. On September 24th of 2016, 2 days before Zymere was murdered, The average ACS worker handled 9.2 cases, and that's what the records show. In May of 2017, it rose up to 14.8, exceeding the acceptable state minimum of an averaging of 12 cases per worker. And that was, recently in the article that was printed up for this year. The workers are down to 7.6 right now as a caseload, and that's been the lowest it's been in the 6 years. Hansold hired more than 1,100 new caseworkers in 2 years. Agency turnover rate has also dropped by 30%. So at least something is being done, and it's not just words being put out there for us to believe something's being done. Is it a little too late? Absolutely, but it's changing. And let's hope it continues to change. As ACS has expanded the training and provided zip cars for staff to get to high-risk emergencies, staff are also being given mobile tablets to quickly access case information in the field. They're doing data collecting through this, so that way the child stat safety program is beefed up and easily accessible. Raisheen Smith was given the max sentence of 25 years for murdering Zymere. Smith was convicted of murder and manslaughter. Smith was convicted of second-degree murder, manslaughter, and 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. She too admitted to beating Zymere. An autopsy revealed that Zymere had more than 30 rib fractures. Perkins also admitted to seeing Smith punch her son in the ribs and stomach. She received a plea deal to testify at the trial of Smith in exchange for 2 to 6 year sentence. Perkins testified she spent 10 minutes doing her hair and makeup before taking her son's lifeless body to the hospital. Defense attorney for Smith alleged it was Perkins who murdered Zymere because she could not handle his hyperactivity and snapped, and she was also worried that her son would ruin her relationship with Smith. She has never taken responsibility. She had to give up Raisheen to get something. Raisheen cared if this little boy lived or died that day. She did not. She killed her little boy. This was all found on the May 17, 2021 New York Post that I found the information. And then there was also a statement that was made by a teacher, which really is haunting. Zymere, terrified of his punishments. Zymere begged his teacher, Miss Gutierrez, tell mommy that today I behaved good. That's what the teacher recalled. This is a horrible thing to hear, and I understand that. But this is Zymere, this is his tragedy, this is what he went through. I personally believe that neither one of them cared about him and wanted to help him or anything, because you know what? It wouldn't have happened to begin with if they cared and they loved him like they claim to do. They're only sorry because they've gotten caught. And unfortunately, this is something that we see all too often. To me, it should be death penalty always when it comes to these cases, but I know that's not going to happen. Thank you for listening to Zymere's story. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.